Ms. Johnson, you and your mother say even though the father of your 2-year-old son, Jaden Taylor, is a deadbeat dad, he has never denied him up until a couple of weeks ago. And today you claim to have medical evidence that proves Mr. Taylor is the father of your son. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, you and your mom say you have valid reasons why you believe you are not Jaden's biological father, and you now refuse to be in his life because he's not your child.
Yes, Your
Is that
Honor.
correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Johnson, explain to me what happened a couple of weeks ago.
My son was over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him until I get a blood test. Like,
out of the blue?
Out of the blue, yes. And I have here some evidence, too.
What kind of evidence?
A message that I would
Jerome,
like to
let me
show
see
you.
this. So wait, out of the blue, you all are co-parenting this little boy. How old is Jaden?
2.
2 years old. You're co-parenting him. Out of the blue, he said, come get your son?
Yes.
What is this evidence you handed me?
The message.
This is the message. Oh, he sent you a text?
Yes, on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook. All right. It says, hey, get your son. I'm not getting him till I get a blood test. Somebody told me what you said, so I don't want him till I get a blood test. RS. I won't repeat that. I don't need him another day. You sent this message, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why did you send this out the blue?
It was actually a week ago. Me and my son was in the house playing around. I was told someone was outside for me. I went outside. A girl told me she had something to tell me about my baby mother. She said Ms. Johnson told another girl that that Jaden wasn't mine. So I inboxed Ms. Johnson and told her I don't want him another day, and I want him.
So you actually had Jaden at that time?
Yes.
At that point, you're thinking, this is my biological child. I'm spending time with my son.
Yes.
And then somebody just comes over your house knocking on the door?
Yes. I mean, I believe it because she always say stuff like that. Like, she always say that he's not mine. I have actually...
I've never heard her say that. I've never heard her say that.
I
Not one
actually
time.
has a recording saying she said he's not mine. If you can hand this up.
You have a recording?
Yes.
Oh.
If she
Jerome,
said it,
let
she
me
probably
hear
just said
that.
it 'cause,
Where is it, in the voicemails?
Yes.
So just hit play and I'll hear the voicemail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's not your baby. That's not your baby. That you right. That's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy. Somebody else is the daddy. Take him up off of your. That's what you could do. Take him all the way completely off of your. Period. Take him off. No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine. That's my baby.
Whoa. Miss Johnson, is that you?
Yes, it is me.
This
He
is you
messaged me-
telling him it's not his child?
Yes, this is after he messaged me that.
Right, and
That's all in the
probably
blue
after
on
the
my-
fact. If he's denying it, I mean, why wouldn't she say it? I don't blame her. If you tell
Why
her,
you
said come get your baby, so of course they're young. So you're gonna say whatever to make him mad, just like he's saying stuff to make her mad.
So you believe, Miss Johnson, that she's just talking out of anger?
Yes, I think that was all out of anger.
But wait a minute. You didn't just say, let me come get my baby. You said, you right, it's not your baby.
Yeah, because he don't have to be. That's what I said.
So let me ask you this, Miss Johnson. Why do you think someone would just randomly come up to him and start talking about how you told somebody that he's not Jaden's biological father?
I think he made it up. Me personally, Your Honor.
Why do you think he'd make it up, Miss Johnson?
Because he don't want to step up to the plate and be a dad. He does nothing. He just,
That's a lie.
What you
I
do?
everything for
What
him.
proof? Where's the proof?
You ain't seen him in 5 months, so what you do?
I have a lot of proof. I sent.
Okay,
any
where is
receipts?
it? Can you see it? Can you
You got any
see that?
receipts?
No.
Oh,
You ain't got
okay.
that?
So wait a minute.
That's what I thought.
He don't have to have receipts. She know we do for
No,
him.
What
for
you do? What you
free.
do?
That
You
you
know
don't
we
do
do.
nothing.
It don't.
What
if
do you
it's
do,
free,
Yolanda?
It
I
doesn't
buy
matter.
You
him
be at
stuff.
home.
It doesn't matter.
Right, you was
As
at
long as he
bingo,
being
so-
taken care
Know
of.
who in your house?
Right.
At the end of
That's
the
how I
day-
ran away
All right,
over there to you.
let's get some order.
At the end of the day, when he's at my house and Jalen has something to do, Miss Johnson will not come and get him. I text her one time, my daughter texted her and said, can you come and get him? My mama need to go to the hospital. She never showed up. Never
So you're
showed up.
saying Miss Johnson leaves Jaden there and doesn't come back and pick him up?
Don't come back and get him.
That's usually why I don't get him, because she never come back and get him.
It took for my son to have pneumonia. Pneumonia in the hospital. Mild pneumonia in the hospital for them to even answer the phone. Like, you don't even know. That's irritating. It's like, he's lying. The number's lying.
To watch him, to cut off the phone. If you gotta hunt somebody down to get the baby, first of all, and then, you finally get the baby, then he wanna call, can you come back and get him and make up all these stories? You hadn't had him in a while. He just, ain't even the truth that you probably went to the hospital.
This is just
I've sent messages.
Is there any communication?
No,
There is.
No, it's not.
We hardly talk because I don't like talking to her, as you see it through the voice message. That's how she talks to me.
No.
That's how she talks to me on a regular.
All right. Up until this point, Ms. Johnson, he never denied Jaden up until this point, about a week ago. You never heard that come out of his mouth?
I've never heard it. I just heard rumors that he said it. That's why he went 5 months without seeing him.
When the baby was born, they had their whole family there. Daughters with the baby's fathers there and everybody. So,
Was the whole family there,
whole family.
Mr. Taylor?
I had to
Ms.
put them
Taylor?
out.
Were you all
Slew of 'em,
anticipating
Your
the
Honor.
birth of
A
this baby
slew.
because you truly thought it was your biological child?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember when your son said, somebody told me that the baby's not mine?
Actually, I didn't hear that until just recently.
Mr. Taylor, something that important you never told your mother?
She be a little too busy, so she'll never be at the home.
Too busy to find out that the grandchild she thinks is hers is not her biological child? If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Have you ever asked for the DNA test?
Yes, Your Honor, I have proof of that right here.
You have?
I'd
like to see that, Jerome. You asked for a DNA test. Tell me the story. How did that happen?
Actually, the court sent in a paper saying I had to go take a DNA test. I went down there to take a DNA test. After I left, I messaged Ms. Johnson and told her that she was supposed to come with me to take the DNA test for my son. After that, she said, I told her she had to go down there and schedule one for him. She never
only
went
went
down there
because
to
child
take
support started sending him letters in the mail.
Yep.
That's why he went, to be truthful. That's
Okay,
why he went.
so he was ordered to submit.
Child support.
So what you're saying is he didn't ask for the DNA test. He was ordered to submit.
Yes.
Okay. And so this paperwork confirms that you did go and submit to the DNA testing.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had it done, but what you're saying is she never showed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you not show up with Jaden, Ms. Johnson?
Not intentionally.
But Jaden was about 9 months old when this happened.
Yes.
That's like over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever you never showed up to get the DNA test done?
No.
Why?
Because I felt that it wasn't necessary. He wasn't denying him then. I knew he was the...
So you're saying he was not denying Jaden, so you felt like, what's the use of going to have it?
Right. Yeah, it wasn't no question, supposedly then. He all over his Facebook and everything else.
Mr. Taylor, did her not showing up somehow fuel your doubt?
A little bit. I always been around him. Like he was always with me. He, like she said, he's all over my Facebook, videos, pictures. I like little conversations we have. I post them on Facebook and stuff like that.
So how is it that some one person out of the blue can walk up to you and just say, you know what?
Exactly.
That baby you've been with for 2 years, that's not your child.
Exactly.
She always say it. She always says when we get into an argument.
The point is because when you get into an argument, Ms. Johnson confirms it.
Yes.
Have you said it more than one time, Ms. Johnson? Mm-hmm. So you know you can't unring that bell. Mm-hmm. You know that.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you know, once you say that to a man, he's never gonna forget that. Mm-hmm. Men forget a lot of things. Right, Jerome? But they don't forget that. And honestly, how could they? So you know you have a part to play in fueling this doubt, right, Ms. Johnson?
Yes. I do have one paper that I would like to show you.
I'd like to see that, Jerome. What is this evidence showing?
This is just basically his eczema that he has.
Okay, the child has eczema?
Yes.
Okay.
Heart murmur.
And a heart murmur, yes.
And a heart murmur.
If you look at...
Just like Mr. Taylor has. Mr. Taylor also.
And you believe that these are two medical issues that the child has in common with Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, do you have a heart murmur?
Yes, I do.
And Ms. Johnson, you say Jaden was born with a heart murmur.
Yes. Diagnosed at the hospital like 1 day old. Yes.
All right. I'm very curious about this heart murmur issue, and I would like to hear from an expert on this. Jerome, can you please escort Dr. Tasneem Bhatia into the courtroom? Thank you.
you go up to the witness stand right next to the judge.
Hello, Dr. Tass.
Hi, Your Honor.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Dr. Tass, I have a few questions for you. Number one, heart murmurs. The plaintiff has asserted that the child suffers from a heart murmur, also our defendant. What exactly is a heart murmur?
So a heart murmur is really just an abnormal sound in the heart rhythm. Normally you're used to listening to the heart and it goes lub-dub. With a heart murmur, you may have an extra sound or some sounds that are not classic to the normal pattern.
Okay, and so are they hereditary?
It's a great
Is
question.
there a genetic link?
There is not a genetic link with heart murmurs. The majority of heart murmurs are innocent heart murmurs, meaning they're just changes in flow. They come on with either a newborn right at birth, or they have, in an adult, they have something to do with pregnancy or things like that. So heart murmurs, you know, for all of us that practice day in and day out, are not genetically linked.
Understood. Ms. Johnson, after hearing that testimony, are your feelings still the same? Is it the same belief?
He knows that I ran away from my mom's house. He knows it. We had played a game of truth or dare one time, which led to us having a baby.
Oh, Lord.
It wasn't that. We didn't have sex that day. We had
So what?
sex
But
the
you
next
just
day.
and you already told the conception date and everything. You know this. I don't even know why you sitting up here playing with me.
Well, I didn't know that part, Yana, but
Well, did you know that she ran away to his house?
yeah. She actually ran away, but whenever I found her, she was over to his house. See, Yolanda's never at home, so she didn't know who's in her house. So whenever I would come by and see Deja, you know, I always knew where she was. I didn't
Apparently, I was there when Deja.
I didn't
when Ms.
abandon my
Johnson
child.
came
I
over
never
there.
would.
When
you
she
know?
came walking through my door, I was there sitting in the dining room. So if I'm never
well,
there,
everybody walks
I
through your
wouldn't have
door
never saw her.
and hang out, and of course.
Listen. At the end of the day, these were two young people that needed a little more supervision.
True.
Right?
True.
But a game of truth or dare has led you to paternity court. And now we have yet another young person in the middle of this thing that in a minute, he gonna be standing in front of me if we don't stop this train from rolling. So let's get back to the issue at hand. Were you intimate during that time with anyone else besides Mr. Taylor?
No.
Why do you, why?
How would you know?
was
That's
out
what I'm
there.
trying to figure out. How do you know?
She was out
How
there.
do you
You're
know?
right. I was not
Right, how do
there,
you
so
know when I was
therefore
living in
I
your
don't
house?
know,
Your son
but
wanted
you
me
were
there.
You were
Your
out
son
there.
wanted me there.
One at a time.
Your
You were
son
out
wanted me
there.
One
there.
at a time. When you say she was out there,
was out there.
respectfully, what does that mean? She was promiscuous. She was known
Yes.
to be
Like you, huh?
Yes.
This is a difficult situation. Even more difficult because we're dealing with very young people. What are you hoping for?
To be honest, I just want to get it over with and want to know if he is or isn't. Because if he isn't, then, you know, I won't be there. But if he is, I'll be there. I've been there his whole life.
That's right.
And Ms. Johnson, you're emotional. What are you feeling?
I don't care. I don't even care. I don't care about this. I'm ready for this to be over with. I don't care. I don't even care no more.
You don't care if
No,
your
I
child
don't
knows
care.
his biological father?
He don't need him.
He does.
No,
if
he
he's-
don't.
If he's his biological father,
No,
baby,
he don't. Or you.
Baby,
Yes, he does.
he needs his father and you need yours. Let me tell you something.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. I've been doing this too long. I know those tears. I just wanted you to be able to say it for yourself because that's one of the reasons why this courtroom is here, is to give people a voice. I don't care how young you are, how old you are, everybody deserves a moment to be heard. If you don't want to express it or you're not ready to express it, that's fine, and you may not have the words. But what you're not gonna sit up here and do is talk for Jaden irresponsibly and say what he doesn't need in the form of a father, because he does. And because of that, I'm gonna get these results, not just for you, but for this child as well. Jerome, I'm ready.
There you go.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Johnson versus Taylor, when it comes to 2-year-old Jaden Taylor, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are the father.
Exactly, Yana. Thank you.
Like I told you.
No. If you're not gonna, Don't start that nonsense.
Thank you.
Don't start that nonsense.
Can I go to?
When I gave you a chance to say something, you ain't had nothing to say. Now I read the result, you gonna pop off. Not in here. That's what we're not gonna do, because this is an important moment.
Okay about it? It's all right.
I'm going easy on you both because you ain't nothing but young people running around here engaging in activities that produce human beings, human life, and you can't take care of yourself and you can't take care of them. You gotta grow up now, and we gotta pull this thing together for this child. I mean it when I say I don't wanna see him in here 20 years from now. I can't tell you how many times I sit in this seat and someone stands right where you're saying and says, I didn't know my father. My mother didn't know her father. This will continue unless you stop it. And the way that you stop it is to figure out how to co-parent. Mr. Williams, you have brought Ms. Annette Smith to court today, claiming she scammed you into paying child support on her 22-year-old daughter, Clarissa. You say you use condoms at all times, so you cannot be Clarissa's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You plan to prove your case today and return to court in your home state to dispute the $36,742.43 in child support arrears that you owe.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, you claim that you and Mr. Williams were in a relationship and you are certain he is your daughter's biological father, even though he hasn't seen her in 20 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Williams, why do you believe Ms. Smith has been scamming you all these years?
The scam is child support. You file child support against me when you don't have proof. I have never signed a birth certificate. I've never been proven that I was the father of the child.
Were you having a sexual relationship with Ms. Smith during the time the child was conceived?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't even know?
I don't know. Because we seen each other and we was having sex with each other, but
you have no idea whether it was during the window of conception.
Right.
You haven't taken the time to count back and...
No.
All right, so how did you even find out you were on child support?
Well, I found out when I did labor-ready work to get some extra cash. Woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, spent 11 hours on the job. Usually it's an $80 a day, turned to a $7 a day based on child support. So I'm like, I can't do this. I can't work 11 hour a day for $7. I can't do it. So being that was the case, I stopped and I just pretty much figured out another way to make income, and I made income enough to get away. But what happened is I was working at a place and I got into a bad car accident. Kind of took me out, but the settlement was allowing me to move. So then that's what I did, I moved. So I'm figuring like I left, they gave her a window of opportunity to put me on child support.
And so how has having this responsibility to pay this support, how has this affected your life?
Big. I mean, I've been held to not being able to get to my fullest ability to make a lot of outstanding money.
When I met Eli, he never had a job.
That's what
I paid for everything.
No, that's not true.
Eli had money when he got into a car accident.
Oh my goodness, that's not true.
We had a relationship.
That's not true. We did not have a relationship.
Yes, we did.
We did not have a relationship.
Yes, we did.
No.
You told him when you got pregnant?
Yes, ma'am, I
And you
did.
were intimate with him during the window of time that Clarissa was conceived?
I don't see that. I don't see
What
that.
was the nature of the relationship? How did you guys meet?
We met at a club. Yes, we met at a club. We ain't do nothing the first night.
I mean,
but we went out that weekend. I picked him up. I took him home.
But why?
I paid
Why?
for his
You knew
food.
more about me than I knew about you.
He was my best friend. But the only time Eli had money is when he got into that car accident.
Oh.
He got mad at me because I didn't show up at the hospital. This is why he is so good out of 22 years.
I never got mad at nobody.
Ms. Smith, you say this was a real relationship.
Yes, ma'am, it was. There you go, right there.
You all were boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes.
No.
At the point that you realized you were pregnant, before that, were you sleeping with anybody else besides Mr. Williams?
No.
When you found out you were pregnant, did you tell him?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What day?
What was his
The
reaction?
same night.
What day? What night?
Yep.
What night?
Yes, I did.
What was his reaction?
Goodness. Yeah, what was my reaction?
I forgot the name
Did
he wanted.
Did I say hell
I
no?
forgot
Did
the
I say-
name
what did I
that he
say?
wanted me to name, but he wanted me to have a boy.
What?
He
But
do.
he seemed happy about it.
Yes, ma'am, he did.
But sir, you
I
don't
wouldn't fly to
remember this
California
day.
like that.
I do not remember this whole conversation, what she's talking about, because it never happened.
Okay.
It didn't.
Well, go
And
ahead.
You know it didn't
Go
happen.
ahead.
So,
Anything to
so
make you
is
feel
it
good.
safe to say that during the doctor's visits and the birth, Mr. Williams was not there?
No. Even when she was sick in the hospital, he ain't showed up, but he called. And I told him Clarissa was sick for 14 days and 14 nights.
None of this.
And
He
his dad
called
was,
you
and his
about
dad was
what?
on the other line because his dad was gonna pay for the ticket. And I said, yeah, you need to come down here to see Clarissa. They know he never showed up, but he came down here plenty of times after that.
You
When
get
I
that
was on
from?
public assistant,
Where you
they
get that
asked
from?
Eli to come down here for the blood test. Eli declined. He didn't want to show up.
When?
You remember?
No, I don't.
When they put you on child
No, I
support,
don't.
when you get AFDC,
No.
they ask you for
Now,
the
I'ma
blood
tell you,
test, and he didn't
no,
want to do it.
That's not true.
Did you have
Yes,
an
it is.
opportunity to take a DNA
No, I
test,
did
sir,
not.
and you didn't?
No, I did
And I
not.
got his
Because
address
for
when I
one,
went to California
let me tell
to
you,
see him.
See, and now she moving too far ahead for herself because when she went to
'Cause
California,
I'm telling the truth.
She went to California to scope out my situation.
No, I come to
After
get
she
your
came out there
address
for
so I can send them people the letter.
You sent them to the wrong address because that
No,
was
I
the address
didn't. I
you was
sent them
at.
to your father's
That wasn't
house.
right.
He
What
just
you
took it to
did
the
is you had somebody send some service papers to my family's house where you know I wasn't at. And then you know I wasn't there. So when they went there, I didn't get the paperwork. I didn't make the court date.
Yes,
you
you
just
did.
smashed me. You just smashed me. She sent the court reporter, whoever serves papers, to my parents' home.
To the wrong address.
To the wrong address, knowing I ain't there.
You're saying she purposely
Yes.
gave the wrong address.
Yes.
So that you would then miss the court date
Yes.
and be named the father
Yes.
by default.
Yes.
And then once you were named the father by default,
Wasn't nothing I
you
could do.
were put on child support.
Wasn't nothing I could do. Nothing I could do.
Mr. Williams is saying he feels like you scammed him, and you're saying we were in a relationship. When I got pregnant, I told him.
He didn't have anything. How am I gonna scam somebody that ain't got nothing?
Mr. Williams, once you realized this had happened, did you ever try to go back to court to have this situation remedied?
First of all, me going back to Florida was not in my plans. Because my thing is, what you used to do with my condoms when you used to do with
We
them?
ain't never
What
used
you
no
used to do with them?
condoms, Eli.
What you used to do with them?
Oh, my
Tell the truth.
God.
What do you, oh,
See,
you
this-
never,
this- I'll
you
tell
never,
you.
we never
Why
used
you
condoms.
doing
You never
this?
used condoms.
Never.
So, Mr. Williams, you say you always used condoms.
As far as I know, always use condoms. What I do know is she used to take my condoms off to the bathroom, and whatever she did in the bathroom with that condom, because I used to lay there.
Oh, my God.
She'd take my condom off to the bathroom. I'll take care of that for you. I'll take care of that for you. You never said that.
What I'm gonna take care of? I'm gonna put it on you too?
No, you gonna put it in whatever you do, however
Who
you
does
do it.
that?
You did.
Oh, my Lord.
So what you're
That's why
saying...
you smiling.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is you feel like there was foul play involved,
Yes.
where she was trying to trap you.
Obviously.
Into having
I
a
don't have
baby.
nothing. I don't have nothing. So why you want me? There's nothing I could do. I mean, the only thing I could do is go back and try to spend $25 on a lawyer, find out this and pay for this and pay for, but when nothing comes out of her pocket.
But wouldn't
Nothing
that,
comes out of her
but
pocket,
wouldn't
that's
that be
fine.
less expensive than $36,000
I
in
don't
arrears?
know. I don't know because I didn't have that to throw away. I didn't have that to throw
So
away.
what you were saying is at the time, because you were unable to afford a lawyer and the transportation to get back to the state to fight the issue, you just had to accept the issue.
Pretty much. And I did accept it for a long time. So every job I get, they get letters that say, oh, we got to take out for this, we got to take out for that. So I'm working for free. I can't work for free. And she said I was broke. That's no serious matter. I always had money. My family got money. My family come from money. We still got money.
You ain't got no money.
How much you want to BET? How much you want to bet?
So is the reason why you're behind $36,000 because you just refuse to beg? Because if the child support office hears you talk about how much money you got, they're going to wonder why this
I tell
isn't
them why,
paid.
because I don't believe this is my child.
So you purposefully have avoided paying because you don't believe it's your child.
I don't believe it's my child.
So you submitted a photo. This is Mr. Williams
No,
and
that's when
Clarissa.
that's when he came to visit.
This is you and the baby.
Right.
It
Can't
doesn't
tell.
look like you're denying her at that point.
Doesn't look like it. I'm not denying because at that point in time in life, none of this was available to me to find out a blood test and all this stuff because I didn't know nothing about it.
So
That's what I'm saying.
this is a picture of you both and Clarissa in California.
Yeah.
You look happy. You look like
I mean,
a
you
couple.
understand something. I'm one of them people that I won't take care of my responsibility if I think I'm responsible for it. But when I find out down the line that I'm not responsible and it's definitely somebody else involved, it's somebody else involved. I don't think the child looks like me. I don't think she has my characteristics. I don't know nothing about her because I haven't seen her.
So, Miss Smith, when is the last time Mr. Williams saw Clarissa?
98.
All right, Jerome, I'm ready to hear from Clarissa. Please escort her in. Hi, Clarissa.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We've been here discussing the issues regarding your paternity. Is Mr. Williams the person you were always told was your biological father?
Yes.
You never were told anyone else could be your father?
No.
Do you remember him being in your life when you were growing up?
When I was 5, he called me. That's all I remember.
Just when you were 5?
Yes.
But since then, you don't remember anything?
No.
You have not seen him?
No.
No birthdays?
No.
Father's Day?
No.
Holiday?
No.
Nothing?
No.
By the time that was probably happening, probably when that child support started hitting me. Because she would get packages every holiday, every Christmas, every birthday she would get them.
Do you remember receiving gifts from your father?
Never.
Never?
He never done that.
Yeah, I did.
But he did collect calls.
Collect calls?
Yes, you did.
Oh my goodness, stop.
And I accepted them.
Stop.
Because you wanted your daughter?
Definitely, and I still do.
You just want her to know her father?
Yes, ma'am, because he is missing out on so much. She made her own music, her own game video. She's a 3.9.
And I can see you very proud of your daughter.
Very so much. And now this is the last closure. And this I wanted to be done with so she can blossom and be a good woman. Whether you in her life or not, because you done missed out. Thank you.
That's what you say.
Thank you for
That's
it,
what you
though.
say.
Thank you for it.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
Thank you.
And so, Clarissa, look at Mr. Williams and tell him what he's missed out on in your life.
You missed out on my entire life. I wanted to have a father to brag things about in my academic life. I wanted to explore, just to have fun with a dad right beside me all the time. Someone to support me. You were never there. I wish you were. We could have had some fun, but no, you weren't never there. You stopped calling me.
And that really hurt. I can see that in your eyes.
It hurts me.
My mom tell me these stories about how much you two had so much fun. These pictures that she's sharing, all I ever wanted was to meet you, see you, hear you again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hear you. But the fact still remains is I don't know if I'm truly your father. I don't know. But we'll find out today. When you were a baby, that's what I remember. Okay? And after that, I don't remember nothing else either. I'm about as bad as how you feeling. I feel bad too. But the thing is, I can't change that. What it is from now on, we can either move forward or keep living in the past. It would be totally up to everybody in the circle right here. Me and your mother never had a relationship. We were friends, good friends, that's about it. And she knows that. I don't know what she's got told you over
Okay,
there.
I'm done talking to me.
You don't have to talk. I'm talking to her. I'm not talking
don't
to you.
put me in it. Talk to her.
No, you're in it. Sorry. But that's the bottom line. I'm always gonna be for whatever I believe in. I got family. If you mine, you got family.
This young girl standing here, she's just expressed
Right.
everything you've missed out on.
Right.
She's just said she just wanted to have a father.
Right.
I'm sure you've been in school. Clarissa, you're a smart girl. You see other friends and people, they have their father. And you would wonder, I'm sure, why did your father stop calling? And you have to respect that, Mr. Williams, whether you believe she's your biological daughter or not. She was told you're her father.
Right.
Her mother has pictures of you looking like you happy she's here on this earth.
I'm not mad.
The point is your disappearance, your lack of contact affected her. Can you accept that?
If she's mine, I can accept that. But if she's not mine, I'll be more hurt than you imagine.
So it's time for the results. And before we go to the results, I just have to ask, Ms. Smith, Mr. Williams has maintained that he just does not know whether this is his child. Are you sure there was
Yes,
just
ma'am.
no one else?
No one.
No one. All right, Jerome, let's get this family some answers.
Yep.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Williams versus Smith, when it comes to 22-year-old Clarissa Williams, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Williams, you are her father.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm so happy for you. Mr. Williams,
Yes.
how does it feel to finally know for sure
Feels better than not knowing.
this was in fact your biological child all along? That whatever this notion is you put in your head, you allowed it to fester. And you lost out on 20 years, and so did this beautiful little girl. Now you know. No one's yelling at you and screaming, and you're no good, and I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. You got a beautiful little girl that just ran into your arms. Accept that and roll with that.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? Ms. Jones-Henry, you say that the defendant, Mr. Jackson, swept you off your feet only to dump you after finding out you were pregnant. But you are positive he is the biological father of your daughter, Melanie. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jones-Henry, this will be your first time seeing Mr. Jackson since you claim he got you pregnant. And Melanie, you are meeting your alleged father face to face for the very first time today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you ready to see him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, can you please escort the defendant
Yes.
into the courtroom? Ms. Jones-Henry,
Yes, Your Honor.
I can feel the anger. I can cut the tension with the knife in here right now. And Melanie, how are you feeling right now in this moment, Ms. Jones?
I'm hurt. I feel a little lost, unwanted. This is my first time ever even seeing him. I've never even seen him up, hugged him or anything, and I called him when I was little and asked him to come and see me, and he told me he would come, and he never came. And that hurts. How could he not want me? I just don't understand why I was a good child, you know. I just don't understand why he don't want me.
I can see how much that hurts you. And
I don't believe I'm her father. I never did. I know she's been with other people even while we were together. So
Your Honor, excuse me. May I address it? That's not true.
she admitted that she's with someone else. I tricked her into admitting that she was with someone else.
so wait a minute. You're saying you tricked her into admitting that?
Yes.
What did you do? Explain to the court.
When she told me that she was pregnant, I knew that I wasn't the father, but I said, you need to go check with that other guy that you were with the last time. She said she didn't know that I was lying about that. I was just speaking out of my mind. She admitted that she was with someone else.
Did you admit you were with someone else, Ms.
That's not true,
Jones-Henry?
Your Honor.
Yes, it is. It's true.
I've never admitted that I was with anybody else. As for me, I've always told her Clarence was her father and felt that Clarence was her father and knew.
That's
that he was
because
her father.
I was the only one she could get hold of. The guy that she was supposed to have been with, she couldn't find him. So then she came to me.
So, Ms. Jones-Henry, was there any other guy? Were you
No,
with
Your Honor.
any other guy during the time
No, Your Honor.
your daughter was conceived?
No, Your Honor.
So take me back to this relationship. I want to try to understand. What was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Jackson?
When I met Mr. Jackson, I met him at a club. He was in the military. We were together all week long while he was there. We wasn't a fly-by-night. We was just together. And I had no reason to believe that he's not my baby's father.
No, Your Honor. I met her at the club, yes. I was in the military. I wasn't even 19 yet. I met her. We had a good time. We talked that night that I met her. By the time I got off the phone, she was telling me, I could fall in love with you, which was a red flag to me. Like, oh no, here we go.
So wait a minute. Okay, but did you sleep with her after that phone conversation?
After the phone conversation, yes, we were together for a while. Not that night though.
So that red flag obviously wasn't that bright.
Oh no, it was only for just to be together. That's it. It was.
And so how soon after this did you find out you were pregnant, Ms. Jones-Henry?
A few months, and I told him. He wasn't either ecstatic or he just didn't give a reaction to anything.
So no reaction?
None.
No joy?
None.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Did he deny it at the time?
He didn't deny or he just gave no reaction.
Mr. Jackson, what were you thinking when she told you she was pregnant?
That she was lying. I just figured she was lying. I knew she was lying. And then when I said what I said, that you need to talk with the other guy that you were with, all of a sudden she admitted it then, and I was like, okay, I know what's going on here. She's just trying to trap another, military man. So.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes.
I didn't need to trap a military man. I was in love with the man because we were together every day. I was thinking that we were going to get married and go. I spoke with his mother. I sent pictures to him. I didn't know what to believe. All I know, I was in love.
And you don't remember him asking you about any other person?
No, he
this
never
question
asked
he
that
says
question.
where he tried to trick you.
He never asked that question.
And so after you told him you're pregnant, were you still around, Mr. Jackson? Did you participate at all with the pregnancy?
No, he never participated. He left.
He left. And you went off to serve?
I was in the Marine Corps. I went off my duty station changed. It wasn't that I left. Like I had to leave. That was the end of my time at that.
Exactly, and we thank you for your service. So this is a certificate of live birth for Melanie Jones. And I see mother signature. I see mother's name. Under father, I see nothing.
He wasn't there. He started to pay child support.
Mr. Jackson, so how did you find out if you weren't there for the birth and you weren't there to sign this birth certificate, how did you find out you were on child support?
I got a letter, or the letter from child support agency stating that I had a child. Well, I talked to my supervisors, my superior supervisors. They asked me, are you going back to Tennessee? I said, no. They said, are you the father? And I said, no. They said, well, then don't worry about it. So I didn't worry about it. I said, okay, no big deal. She'll go after the guy that she was supposed to have been with.
So you got a letter?
At the time, my check started getting garnished. I was getting like $35 every 2 weeks. Well, at that time, a girl in our finance department told me, she asked, why are your checks so small? So then I said, because I'm paying child support. And she's like, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you sign up for BAQ, which is dependence pay? I signed up for dependence pay, but the only way I could get that is if I signed saying I am the father of their child, of Melanie.
Legal lesson number 1, when the court calls, you answer.
Right.
Right? When they give you a date, you show up.
Right.
So there was a default judgment probably entered against you.
Exactly.
But then at some point, you get another piece of advice. That since your checks had been garnished, they were small.
Right.
In order to get more money, you had to sign up for what was called dependence pay.
Right.
But you had to get some dependents.
Right.
And so what you did is you said you signed an affidavit of paternity, meaning you basically signed an affidavit of paternity, acknowledging paternity.
Right. I was 19 and
if you feel that strongly about something, you take care of it to the end.
You fight. You fight.
That's what I had.
Just not a meal ticket. She's
and so
child.
at this point, wait a minute.
She was a meal ticket, but
no, she
$35 a check.
She's my child. I've been here. I stood with her. I was there when she cried. I was there when she asked for you. I was there when she wanted you, and you didn't want to be with her.
And so, Mr. Jackson, you just said something in open court right now. You just said in court, she was your meal ticket. Do you believe that Ms. Jones-Henry was just trying to set you up to be the father because you were this military man?
I believe so, and that was my problem right from the start. I said, she just want me just because I'm in the military. And she couldn't find the other guy.
What I feel,
And then
Judge,
her-
There was no other guy.
I had relatives of hers or friends of ours that called me and apologized.
What
'cause
did
I
these
told them that.
relatives say?
They said that Melanie was not my child.
I have 2 kids. I couldn't imagine leaving a child. Leaving a child. Look at that picture. I look like my kids. And I couldn't imagine leaving my kids abandoned with nothing, with no emotional support or anything else.
And then have no emotions whatsoever.
None.
As a man.
Did you know he had doubts? When he signed that affidavit acknowledging paternity, did you think that that was basically an acknowledgement even to you, like, yes, Melanie is mine after all these years, I just want to say,
And the
that's
other
what you
person
thought.
I know would have fought. They would have came. They would have fought.
So you're saying you never had any doubts because there were no other men?
I had never had any doubts.
But were there any other men?
No.
That's a 2-part question.
No, there were no other men. I don't know what he's talking about what he told me. There was no other men. She can attest to, even to this day, I had great thoughts of him. I never had anything negative thoughts of him because I still, to this day, felt that way. That he was a man I was in love with and that we were gonna go off into the sunset with each other. And I never had, and I spoke to Melanie the same way about him for 35 years, and she can attest to that.
And you know what? After time, I didn't even want to hear anything about him. It took me to last year to say, you know what, for my kids, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with this. And that's when I contacted the courts.
And I went on with Facebook and I looked his name up because I remember his name and everything about him. For me, I didn't know any of that until now. And it hurts for me to see and hear what he's saying, because that's not how I felt. That's just demeaning to me. Because I was in love with him. Whether he was in love with me or not, I was in love with him. And that was true. And I told my daughter this. And I told her it was her father. And all these years to realize that he never thought anything about me, do you know how hurtful that is? How much that hurts? Do you understand how much that hurt Mrs. Jackson?
I knew I wasn't gonna stick with her.
Wow.
And yet you just, listen, this happened in large part because of you, because of your actions.
Right, all
And
because of me.
can I ask-
Because
And
I
now,
could've
why
said
didn't-
no.
Is
We've
that-
had,
I
no,
could've said-
but we've
could've
got a
kept
young,
my back.
we got a young woman who's experienced 35 years of pain and confusion. And let's be honest, it even got worse. You tried to make it better for you when you signed that affidavit acknowledging paternity.
Right.
But you just made it worse for her. They thought that was an acknowledgement that now I really do have a dad. So now where are you? And so then that was another level of disappointment and trauma for a young girl. But you were only doing it because you were just trying to make ends meet and you were trying to get the extra pay. So this saga, quite frankly, has gone on in 35 years.
And I would like to ask him, so is that the same reason why you want to come to my college graduation?
I did not want to come there
Well,
and pretend.
when I asked you, why not be honest? Why not?
Because in all actuality, I was coming. But I at the last minute, I said no.
Always at the last
That's
minute.
just
You want to
playing.
cop out.
It wouldn't be right if I didn't know for sure.
And you know what? It's like, even if I wasn't his, even if he had the doubt that I wasn't his, he still could have gave me a chance of knowing who my real dad is. And by him signing and not coming to acknowledge his fault and everything else that's going on, it did not leave me anything but
disillusionment.
I think the only way we can possibly move forward is to get the answers. It's time for the results. Jerome?
Okay.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Jones Henry versus Jackson, when it comes to 35-year-old Melanie Jones, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are not the father.
Really? I didn't have anybody else.
He is not the father.
I did not.
You point all that blame on me, and you put your daughter through all that for nothing. That's just...
I don't blame you. I just wish you would have taken care of your business then so I wouldn't have to suffer now. I mean, I came here today for closure, and although he's not my dad, it's still closure for me because, you know, it's other situations that's involved in this, but he is, like to me, he don't even have a heart to even ask, hey, what was going on at that time? He could have did anything but been there, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad, and I'm not saying that.
Well, I feel bad. I'm gonna tell you, I feel bad. I'm truly sorry.
Even though I know you felt like all these years you weren't wanted and you weren't loved, I think he came here today out of love for you. The hug. Oh, that's nice.